How's it going, everyone? We're going to take a look at the S.H.Figuarts of Haruno Sakura from Naruto Shippuden in particular. So I actually mistakenly thought that this character had received an S.H.Figuarts figure previously, but actually no, she hasn't. This is the first time they've done that, and it's been years for people asking about it. So I'm actually not sure if people actually like this or not, and it's been a while since this has been out. I'm just getting around to opening it now. Let's take a look at the package first, and then we'll take a look at the option parts and the figure. So jump ahead if you want to see that good stuff. So from the package side of things, this is quite similar to Uchiha Sasuke and Naruto that came out a few months ago, I think it was now. So you've got that kind of inky filtered artwork there of the main character here, of Sakura in this case, obviously. Name Sakura Haruno on the bottom there, inheritor of Tsunada's Indomitable will, plus the logos and all of that stuff. You've got a nice kind of pink Sakura cherry blossom look of the color of the box there, which is nice. You've got a picture of her in a pose on the side. You've got more pictures of her on the back there. Down on the other side, just a quick kind of close-up of her with Japanese writing. The top is kind of plain, and then the bottom finishes off like so. And that's the packaging. Let's open the figure. And here we have Haruno Sakura out of the box. Now, as you can see straight away that she doesn't come with a lot. She's not packing a lot of different option parts or accessories. Straight away, she only has a few basic hands, faces, and an effect part. No kunai, no ninja accessories, nothing like that. So that's kind of disappointing already. But let's just go through the option parts that she does have, and then we'll go through the figure. So starting with the hands, of course, you've got the fists already attached to the figure. We'll see those later on in closer detail. You've got gloved hands. All of them are going to be gloved hands. So you've got open palm hands like this. Pretty plain black open palm hands. Nothing too crazy, nothing too special, nothing bad either. You've got relaxed palms like this. Again, a pair of them like so. Again, nothing crazy. Gloved again. And then one single hand. So this one's going to be for the left hand. You can see here her hands are a little bit tiny, actually, especially this one. The fist is even more tiny. So this one's got a little bit of a clasp to it. So I guess you'll kind of clasp a fist, I guess. And then you've got the faces. So that's actually the hands straight away there. Let's go into the faces. So your original face here is kind of with the smirk. And then second face, they're all lettered A to do B, C, D, E. So this one's B. This one is kind of like that comical face that she has, the expression that kind of appears every now and then during the show when she gets very, very kind of hyper or hysterical or things like that. So you can see the eyes are very different here. Really cool. And you've got a little bit of vein. If you can see the kind of bulge there on the forehead, right there. I should point with my thumb there. You can see the vein there. That's pretty cool to see. This one actually pretty cool. It's quite fun. It's a good face that they've included there. Another one that we've got here is going to be her with open mouth, yelling, or just kind of in an action pose. This one's not too bad. I do quite like this one. The eyes and other kind of facial features are pretty good here. I do actually really like the eyes and eyebrows. You can see that right there, pretty good. This is a profile view of that. That's probably one of my favorite faces there. Then we come on to the one where she's kind of happy with the mouth wide open. This one I'm not really feeling, and I don't know what it is. There's just something strange about, I guess, like the nose, like beneath the eyes. The face is a little bit weird for this one. This is a profile for that. And that's not, exclusive to that face. There's just something weird about most of the faces for me personally. This is one where she's a bit more serious. You can use this for different kind of expressions that you want, or different kind of scenes that you're playing out. So this is cool to have as well. You can see the eyebrows a little bit more kind of furrowed, I guess. Really nice eyes again there. The mouth expression is very kind of serious or just kind of normal. And this is the profile view there. And that concludes her face. And we'll have a closer look at the kind of original default face in a second. She also comes with this effect part to put on one of the fists. You can do it on the left or the right fist. I'll show that later on because I don't want to lose the fist inside there. But it's pretty basic. It's just kind of got this translucent, I guess, turquoise green effect going on. But then you got this kind of white frosted, smoky kind of paint at the end there. So pretty basic overall. Nothing too crazy when it comes to accessories. And I have to say it's a little bit disappointing that she doesn't come with any kunai. Like that would have been something at the bare minimum. As a ninja type of character that she is, she should have come with at least a kunai. Then again, it's only a kunai, right? And also, this figure isn't that expensive. So speaking of the price, this kind of cost around 4,000 yen, excluding shipping. So not the most expensive figure out there. And especially in today's exchange rate for what is it, end of October 2022, exchange rate in pounds is pretty good. That's a firework going off in the background, so not me. Let's go on to the actual figure then. So coming on to the figure, there are a couple of things that I don't like about the figure, but I've kind of grown okay with. So aesthetically, it's not bad. It's not 100% something I really like myself. Other people are definitely going to think differently. But for me, just like the Naruto figure beforehand, there's too many kind of breaks happening. And I don't mean that like it's an actual broken figure, but what I mean is, say the joints here, I don't really like that this is the bicep cut here needs to be so evident. I don't think she even needed it. I think she could have been okay without a bicep cut, to be honest. Things like that. Her legs are a little bit weird because she's got a cut here, which we'll get into soon with the articulation. That can be a bit awkward. Her neck is very, very strange looking. Her face, again, as I said, there's something about the face sculpt and the shape of the actual face from beneath the eyes is a bit weird on a couple of the faces, including this one. Again, that might be different from you guys. You might think it's fine, but for me, something about it is a little bit off. A bit like the Naruto one as well. Something about it is just a bit off. And then otherwise, yeah, I think it's just the joints being a little bit too pronounced for me. That kind of just seem a bit weird. The shoulders especially is something I actually think stick out a little bit too much, especially like from behind. You've got this kind of, it's not a good view in my opinion. This kind of shoulder, what she's got going on here is kind of terrible. I don't know why they did this. So I don't know. I think they wanted more of a decent profile view, but then sacrificing the back view without, I don't know. There doesn't seem to be any logic or rhyme or reason for why they would opt for something new like this. This is the first time I've seen this kind of shoulder joint with S.H.Figuarts. Something like this, instead of just going kind of traditional where it's just all around a sculpted shoulder and using the regular kind of butterfly joint, because it just articulates a little bit weird and then it just kind of makes it look a bit broad, which isn't entirely negative as in making her look broad, because she is a bit more, I guess, wide shouldered in Shippuden, which isn't, inaccurate. She does kind of grow up, so that's fine, but it just looks weird from behind. Like I said, it just looks very, very weird. So those kind of things pull down the overall aesthetics of the figure for me, but at the same time, aesthetically, the whole line, or this 2.0 line of Naruto figures, including Naruto and Sasuke himself, haven't been spectacular in my opinion. They've been alright, and you can get them into good poses, but they haven't been spectacular. But otherwise, other things going on, like the hair, like you got a Konoha headband here with the symbol on there, which is great actually to see. That looks fine. The hair is not too bad in general. You've got layers of the hair you can kind of see there. The neck makes it look a bit weird. It's quite a long neck, as I mentioned early on. The front bangs I think are a little bit too plain. I think a little bit of shading would have been okay. It kind of looks a bit like what's the word, bubblegum maybe. It had just been like sculpted that way, so something about that is a little bit off as well. Not terrible, but again, just a little bit off for me. Then we come down to the shirt. Shirt is pretty good actually. It's got shading around the torso section, which is good. You got detail of the zipper down there, and then on the back we did see earlier on the ring symbol there, which is fine. Again, it's kind of distracting when you see the shoulders though. We've got the skirt, kind of aprony thing, skapron, yeah, something like that she's wearing here, which is soft. You can see that, which doesn't hinder her articulation, leg articulation very much. You've got the buckle details down there. That actually doesn't look too bad as well. And then you've got her shorts down there with a pouch on the right leg, and then plain on the left leg. And then coming down to the kind of boots or high heels that she's got, a little bit weird. I didn't really notice this for the years of watching the anime and reading the manga. I didn't really notice the boots are kind of weird. They're kind of like, I don't know, they're just weird. But yeah, she's got these. Got a little bit of sculpt going on the back side there, on the back of the calf, and then the high heels. The high heels are a little bit annoying when it comes to actually posing, and then she does have that kind of annoying articulation joint at the ankle that Sasuke has as well, and Naruto. I think all three of them have it, which again I'm not a huge fan of, but hey ho, that's how it is. And then for the arms, we've got the elbow pads like so, and then the hands are gloved that we saw earlier on. So generally, aesthetically, I'm not 100% sold on it. Depending on the pose that you get her in, it doesn't look too bad. You can hide certain things here and there and it's okay, but definitely could have been better in my opinion. But again, it's not a super expensive figure, so it's kind of a bit of a balanced approach, I guess. Now let's talk about articulation. Articulation is actually quite good with her. Her neck articulation is great, and you will have to play around with this just to make sure her neck doesn't look overly long. Like, it just looks really absurdly long in a lot of different poses that you get her into. So if you kind of push her head a little bit forward and maybe looking down, it actually looks really good. but general kind of poses, you're going to have to I recommend playing around with it. So depending on the angle you've got this displayed, you definitely want to make sure that that neck doesn't look like an ostrich neck or something like that. The shoulders are really good, generally speaking, but they're not great because of the way they look. And I do think actually traditional joints on older figures are better. So these are still good, but just, if you can see here again, you got this hinge shoulder, unnecessary. I don't need the hinge shoulder because it stops there anyway, and if it was just a regular ball joint there, it would have stopped there as well. So what was the point in that? It just kind of gives us an uglier shoulder, and then you can't actually get her to cross her arms over as much as I feel, in my opinion. If they use the regular joint, the ball joint, she can't cross her arms over as much. It's not to say this is bad, this is still pretty good. Her arms can kind of touch almost, but I just don't think this was necessary. They should have stuck with the old joints there and then skipped the bicep cut here, which I don't like. It's cool that she's got it, that it works, but they could have done something that was hidden and it would have looked much better. This could have been hidden into the elbow bit here, but for whatever reason, again, they've added that. I do get a little bit confused though, because it's that hinge. It does confuse things when you're trying to play around with the arm. Plus the kind of bend of the elbow is a bit confusing sometimes if it's this way or the other way. Just don't forget that so you don't snap the elbow joint by accident. The hand is very similar and standard stuff, so nothing real special there. The torso here, she twists a little bit at the top and rotates, and then down below as well, which is all great. She's got good leaning and forward and back, which is great, side to side as well. You can also see a little bit of the joint there on each side, if you see that there. And then her leg articulation is really, really good. She's got very long legs, by the way, so it can be a little bit weird to pose her because it kind of messes with the balance a bit, but she's got very long legs there and can articulate those nicely. So play around with those. She's got the twist at the crotch bit there, you can see. Plus I mentioned the twist at the thigh, so that bit you're just gonna want to play around with because sometimes it will like just look a bit weird. It reminds me a lot of, say, what Hasbro do with Marvel Legends stuff, where it just kind of looks a bit funky once you misalign it a little bit, and then it just looks a little bit unclean, not really kind of the standard that you expect from Japanese figures. It looks more like a Hasbro figure than a toy, basically. Got a knee bend right here, which is fine, and then as I mentioned earlier on, she's got the same sort of ankle that the other two guys had as well. A little bit different, just slightly different because it's a bit thicker, but otherwise it does the same kind of job. I personally don't like it, but it does give a lot of range of movement. I just don't like it because of the way, I just think it looks ugly. Finishing off with the toe pivot like so, but if you do have her toes straight, it kind of looks like she's got broken toes there, which is a bit funny personally. But that finishes off the articulation, so it is quite good. You'll get her into some really good poses. Like I said, she's got great leg articulation, and remember the torso she can twist, so you can get her into some key poses where she's going to be ready to attack, leap, lunge, etc, etc. So perfectly good poses, nothing wrong with it, and that's where you can hide a lot of the kind of issues like those joint cuts and so on. So like even that, it's a very basic pose, just kind of about to get ready to kind of leap out onto an enemy or something. You can hide some stuff with clever angles and clever posing, but it is a little bit still distracting, and just knowing that it's there, it kind of puts me off just a little bit. Let's get on to swapping some parts. Pretty standard stuff. Just take off the front bangs of her hair like so, remove the face, and then you've got the head or neck exposed. As you can see, it's got a very long neck, and then you can swap it to, well, any face. Let's just go with that very comical face there. Just line it up, put that on, and then replace the hair. Pretty easy stuff to do. There we go. And then the hands, you just pull the hands off like so, and then we'll replace it with an alternative hand. Just put that in. Her fists are a little bit small, as I mentioned, so don't lose those. And then the joints are also a little bit small. Just be careful not to snap anything when you replace them. We can also add the effect part. This can go on to the left or right fist, but because we've got the left fist already on, just do it on the left fist. There we go. Add that in like so. And now we've got a comical Haruno Sakura there. Oh, there we go. See, the bend of the elbow gets a bit confusing. Just twist that back. And then there we go. So here she is being very, very, I guess, insulted or something by me saying the figure's not that aesthetically pleasing. So yeah, she's about to punch the camera. Douche. And there we go. That's pretty much this figure. But let's bring out the other two guys just to kind of see them side by side. I'm actually kind of waiting to put a lot of these figures back in their box and either sell them off because I'm kind of running out of space. But I thought before I do that, let's get Sakura open and then we'll just kind of see them side by side. So I'm not going to actually, yes I will. I'll repost Sakura very quickly. So you can see here, Sakura standing next to her other Team 7 members. She's off camera just a little bit. There we go. So we got Uchiha Sasuke in the center, Uzumaki Naruto on the left, and then Haruno Sakura here on the right. Size-wise, she's a bit shorter than the others, even with the heels on. Balance-wise, these two are a little bit better. The heels kind of mess with her and the long legs mess around with her a bit. But generally speaking, in terms of the way they look, they're pretty much on par with each other. But at the same time, they could all be better, in my honest opinion. They all three could and should have been better figures. So to wrap it up then, this Haruno Sakura release actually finishes the Team 7 of Naruto Shippuden. So that's Uchiha, Sasuke, and Naruto. If you haven't seen those, I have covered those, so check those out. There is Hatake Kakashi coming out later on as well, which I will also be doing a kind of video look at as well. But in terms of Haruno Sakura, it's not a terrible figure. I don't think it's absolutely terrible, but I do think all three of them should have been better given the kind of hype and excitement and popularity of this brand. I don't think they're quite on the same level as the S.H.Figuarts Dragon Ball stuff. But then again, these aren't that expensive either. If you can find either of them, on Sakura in this case, for cheap, then sure. Especially with the exchange rate being pretty good these days, and sure, it might be worth getting. And as I said, if you play around with the poses and are clever with the way you display it and pose it, then it might not look too bad, and it actually does look pretty decent. But she is quite bare, not a lot to go with when it comes to option parts. So up to you. You guys decide. For me, definitely not my favorite figure of the year. Not a terrible figure, but I think could be better. All that said, thank you very much for watching this Haruno Sakura S.H.Figuarts video, and I hope to see you next time. Check out the videos for Uchiha Sasuke or Naruto if you haven't seen those already, as well as many other figures on my channel. Take care now. Catch you later.